Heel strikes and shanks are two of the most frustrating things you can do when you're out on the golf course. So if you're a golfer who cannot stop hitting the heel, can't stop shanking the ball, here are the 5 most simple tips and the 5 most common reasons why you could be hitting that ball off the heel. Awful. We want to get away from this and start to hit the sweet spot a lot more. Here are the 5 most common reasons why that happens and simple fixes to get yourself back on track. So number 1, and definitely not to be overlooked, is how you address the golf ball. Quite often, it's amazing how many people have a heel bias strike but still line the ball up off the heel. So a really simple way to resolve that is grab a piece of face tape, or if you don't have face tape, even just get a whiteboard marker. I've got a Sharpie, and draw a centre or a cross. Obviously this face tape already has it, but draw a cross right in the centre, and that's going to be something that you're going to align to your golf ball. Maybe even favouring the slight right side. If you're a heel bias strike, that's definitely something that's going to help you rather than hurt you. So make sure you're checking that address position. Don't overlook it. It's amazing how many people I see address off the heel and return the club back to the exact same point. Just take that extra little second to get your alignment, come into the golf ball, and make sure that you've got that cross there, or even just slightly toe side, addressed with the centre of the golf ball. Then you might take your grip, then you might take your stance, and basically you're starting with the number 1 priority, which is aligning that club face. So simple drill, face tape or a whiteboard marker, something that can wipe off your club if you don't have any face tape, and that's a really nice checkpoint for the address position. So reason number 2 why we see a lot of people strike the heel of the club or hit a shank is because of the distance from the golf ball. So definitely don't be one of these golfers who are setting up and having your hands and the butt end of the golf club too close to the legs. If you do that, basically what happens is if you hit a heel shot or if you shank the ball, essentially what happens is that's you moving your club head and your hands forward into this space more. And basically what happens is if you set up with your hands and your club really close to your legs, no gap, then you've either only got 1 or 2 options. The amount of wiggle room you have is really, really small. You can either return your hands back in towards your legs and potentially strike it okay, or the most likely outcome, if there's any sort of forward thrust or any sort of movement out this way, there's a really high chance, or almost an absolute guarantee, that you're going to hit the heel of the golf club. So a nice simple way just to check you've got a decent distance from the ball. We want to address the ball first, take your normal grip and stance, and when you're holding the club, you should be able to brush 1 palm through this gap. Okay, so 1 palm should go through this gap, or even a fist between your leg and the golf club, but there should definitely be some space here, and a good posture obviously helps. If you've bent over from the waist and the pelvis is back slightly, that definitely does create more space. So a nice posture and a good distance from the ball definitely can make an enormous difference. So if that's something that you struggle with, come in, get that club face set your stance with a good posture, and brush a hand between the club and the legs. This is gap wedge just for posture purposes, being a bit more over the ball than perhaps a longer iron, but go for that and start to hit the middle of the face more and more. So reason 3 why you might hit the heel a lot is the club head moves outside the target line too much. And come point of impact, when you come back down, that club head is outside the target line, and you are much, much more likely to present the heel of the club. Anytime that club head pushes this way or comes out this way, we can be more likely to hit the heel. So a simple drill is just to put these 2 sticks down, be aware of your club head travelling inwards, hitting the ball, and then travelling in again. We don't want to push that club head out here too much. We don't want it moving out this way in the takeaway. We want it to be in, back to the ball, and then around, because we swing on an arc. We don't swing in a straight line, and we certainly don't want to push that club head out in front too much. So a really nice simple drill that you can do if we take one of these sticks away. A nice simple drill that you can try to make sure you don't get the club head outside the target line is basically place your golf ball pretty close. You put your club down, the toe of the club almost touches the stick, and what we're trying to do is not hit the stick or move in front of the stick on the way back. We see that a lot with people who hit the ball off the heel. Club head travels this way slightly, down but slightly in, rather than out and disconnected, and then trying to keep the club head inside the stick on the way down. So it should look like so. We want to see this, not this, and we want to see this, not this. Okay, so keep that club head inside that stick, back and through. Yes, the ball went a little bit to the right, but we can see there that the ball's actually struck slightly towards the toe. So a lot less heel strikes if you do this drill. You can obviously try it all the way through the bag with different clubs, and it's absolutely fantastic. So as we know, golf is difficult, and actually whilst we're on the exact same topic, you can also hit a heel strike from the complete opposite. So if the swing becomes too rounded, if that club comes way on the inside and you get really, really connected, and the hands are really low and the club is under plane, then there's only one option for the hands to move out. So again, you can hit a lot of heel strikes from that position. So if we use the stick again, what we can start to do is we can go about a club head behind the stick, place that stick in about a similar angle to what your club is going to be in, and basically just try and get close to matching that plane. If you're someone who pins the left arm to your chest and gets stuck in here, trying to get here and more on plane will improve the direction of travel of your hands, and you're more likely to be in and around, rather than here and pushing out and away, which is going to cause a lot of heel strikes. So excellent drill if you're one of those guys. Here, on plane, there, on plane, trying to match that stick and hit that ball out of the middle. And as we can see there is the first heel strike from the start of the video, and all the other strikes are middle to slight toe. So these are some great drills. This is a way that you can watch this video, you can diagnose what you're doing, where your heel strike might be coming from. And if there was one more major move that makes you hit the heel, it is thrusting towards the golf ball. Most of the time it's lower body. I see a lot of golfers early extend, which is when you move their lower half towards the ball. Some golfers move their top half towards the ball, but that's going to cause the hands and the club head to, again, back to what we were talking about a minute ago, outside that target line. We're going to push the club head into this space too much, and we're going to hit the heel quite a lot. So another nice drill with a stick, if we get our setup, what we can do is we can place a stick behind our backside. So we've got that just behind us, and what we want to try and do is, as you're swinging down, so we want to keep the pelvis back as we're shifting the weight forward. We don't want to be moving the lower body this way. So definitely worth some swings with no ball just to try it. If you're at home, you can do this with a wall and just try and keep your backside on that wall throughout the whole swing, and just try and get that feeling of not moving the legs and the hips towards the golf ball. That's a massive strike killer. If you're really starting to hit the heel a lot, that could be one of the reasons why. We've got something behind, we want to go back, feel like you keep the pelvis back rather than thrusting towards the ball. So I've got that stick, I'm going to push against that as I start to swing down. And we've struck it so nice, the mics came off. So there we have it. Those are the 5 main reasons why you would strike the heel of the golf club. 5 simple solutions, 5 simple drills. If you can start working on these, find out why you're hitting the heel, you can get yourself back into the sweet spot and make you enjoy your golf so much more. If you found this video useful, please do click that like button, subscribe to the channel, check out the description links below because there's a few freebies that you can access. There's a free golf lesson with me where you can film your swings, send them across, and you'll get an analysis and a video feedback. And there's also some free weekly and monthly tips that aren't on the channel, so check out those description links below. Give these tips a try, start hitting that sweet spot more often, and I'll see you next time on the channel.